My name is Roger Astley. I live in Finchley, North London, and I was in the Royal Navy during the Korean War. I joined the Navy as a boy at 15, and I was obviously there during the Korean War on an aircraft carrier, HMS Unicorn, which transported new planes and brought back to Singapore the old ones that had all been smashed up or crashed in whatever. We also provided new pilots for them, and we took everything up to Japan anyway, to Sasebo, including 2 London buses. I think it was a morale booster for the troops to see a London bus driving around Korea. That's it for a minute. Wait, it's all right. Wait a minute. Anything else you want?
Well, what did you experience there? I know what you did.
All right. What did I experience?
Anything that you saw, kids, orphans, or other units, Americans?
No, we took everybody. We even took American sailors up there on our ship, and they loved our food, which I'm afraid the English didn't like our food, but the Americans liked it, which was quite unusual. Because I went on American ships, and I always thought their food was better than ours. We got on all right, and even when we went ashore drinking, and we'd had a few beer, and it was beginning to talk, we got on well with the Americans, as we did with most of the others.
Like who?
Well, there was Australian troops there, Belgium. There was a Dutch hospital ship. In other words, there were quite a few other nations. The harder ones, obviously, was the Oriental nations that was there. That was harder for us to get on with them.
Because of the language barrier.
Yes, basically. Whereas with obviously, the most people in the world speak English anyway, so... And us English, especially myself, who has an accent from the north of England, we don't speak English as good as we should do. But it was an experience. I don't think we was ever frightened. We was only attacked 3 times by aeroplanes, and we chased them off, but we didn't have any trouble. Apart from that, you just did your job. You just carried on doing what you did.
So what do you feel about Korea right now, as compared to what you left it?
Well, I'm glad it's getting more affluent. It's a smashing country now, I should imagine, for what it was then. In fact, I think it was the making of South Korea in a way, because it's very modern and everything that's good from that they do. And the exports is good, whereas I don't know so much about the north, but I don't think it's doing anywhere near as good. Even the Chinese seem to be a bit sick of them. But apart from that, well, I've got good memories of it.
You do. Have you returned?
Pardon? I have never returned. I always used to be amused at one of the ports we went to. I think it was Cure. One of them, there was a great big notice on the roof of the warehouses: through this port pass the best damn fighting men in the world. That was the Americans, of course. Well, of course, some of our people had climbed on the roof and put, and the Brits. It was just a job at the time. I think because we never really saw action like the army did. To us, it was just a job with a bit of restrictions in us. The ship could never broadcast its name. We all had different call signs. We couldn't let the enemy know what ships was up there, so we had different call signs. But for the Navy, I don't think there was a few early on got killed, but most of them didn't. Most of us was too far away. It was the army that took the brunt of it. And of course, they weren't professional soldiers anyway, a lot of them. As you say, them lads had to go in for 2 years training, whereas people like myself and the majority of the Navy was all time-serving people. And of course, when I got out of the Royal Navy, where I lived, a seaside resort, I went back to sea again in the Merchant Navy, where I could go to the west, to Americas and South America and the West Indies. And in other words, I had a good life.